everyone, today I'm here to explain what I do with the quantum dosing board and also to explain how past lives are connected with our problems in our current life. When we are going through the unconscious, we start to understand that yes, there are things that are not from just this life. I'm going now to explaining you how this works. So this red one, it symbolizes the trauma that happened in a life one. Okay, we are going to call it life one. Trauma here in this life one, it was about someone that was, for instance, a young boy, and he lost his parents in a war. So there was an invasion in the village that he was living, and they killed the parents. And after that, he was alone on his own. After that, this boy, he survived, and years later, he started to notice that, for instance, when he was hearing horses, he was getting very nervous. He was shaking. So this means that even the situation of the horses that were not exactly something connected directly with the trauma, these horses have a connection exactly with the event that killed the parents. Years later, also, this boy that became a man is somewhere, and he hears a conversation about a neighbor that lost his wife when she was giving birth. And this man becomes quite affected. He doesn't know why, but anyway, just to hear this story that happened to someone else, he got affected. So this was, let's say, something that got built in this life one. And this man died. Now we have life two. And in this life two, we are going to imagine that this person loses his wife and he cannot overcome that pain. So this is the trauma that is losing the wife. He cannot get married again. And actually, why? Because there are still information from the previous life. So this episode of losing the wife is just a consequence of the events, the episodes that happened before, and that they are connected. This man is here again in this life. Now let's say that he couldn't get married, but also he decided that he would go to the church and he would become a monk. So this man is going to be monk, okay? And while he's monk, because he cannot cope with the idea of losing someone else, when one day he's in the monastery, he needs to organize a funeral. And when this man organized this funeral, he really gets affected with the funeral. He doesn't know why. People around him don't understand why he's so affected. Because even, let's go imagine, he had a panic attack that even he cannot go to organize and to hold the funeral. And this guy is almost considered crazy. Now let's go imagine that now this man dies. Right now you can ask to yourself how this is connected with our current life. To explain the current life, I have to bring here the concept of sacred wound, okay? So this is our sacred wound. If you want to check more information, check the posts about the sacred wound, because in this way you will understand better. This information, okay, from these previous lives goes into the DNA and it gets here. This is the information that then we have in our sacred wound, but it's here, it was not healed, so it's creating weight and it's calling all the times our attention to be healed. Then we are in our current life, and now we have here a girl, and this girl was left by the father after a divorce. She didn't hear anymore about her dad. She just wonders why he abandoned her. So when the trauma happened to this girl, that the father left, this is exactly going here and connects to all the past traumas that happened before. This feeling here of abandonment, for instance, and the feeling that I'm not worthy because my dad even didn't care about me. It's not about just this episode of divorce. It's about a memory that initially was created when lost the parents in a war, that then it was reactivated when lost the wife. The information of pain about being left behind, being abandoned, is still vibrating in the system. This is the reason because many times we have people in therapy that they say something like, yes, I know that this issue, it's because my dad left and didn't care about me, but I cannot feel different, even if I understand. And this lack of understanding, or better, the level of understanding then doesn't match our actions and our feelings, because we have different